Myself, Dr. Uma Mittal from University of Rajasthan. Since last 2 days, we are all submerged in the ocean of this positivity, and many discussions, as well as Sir has rightly said right now that positivity is actually embedded in Indian heritage, but due to ignorance, or we can say due to lack of empirical evidence, many people, a large section of a society is not able to utilize the benefits of all the meditational practices that are prevalent from ages in India. So therefore, because we cannot blame them also, because there are lack of empirical evidences, and the youth today wants empirical evidence for everything. They want to believe in things that are scientific oriented. So that is why there is need for such researches, empirical evidences, so that many people can effectively use these techniques for their holistic development as well as spiritual growth. So I have made an attempt in this paper to study the effects of different meditative techniques on enhancing spiritual well-being, then subjective well-being and psychological well-being. I have chosen 2 of the techniques popular in India. Although there are many techniques, but only 2 of them are most popular. That is, one is very Vipassana technique. That is very popular. That is based on ancient Buddhist techniques, and it is very simple. It is based on solace, silence, peace, and you don't have to do anything there. They make you practice Maun Vrat also, and the other one is the art of living technique. It is the modern technique, and it is very regressive. It is involving very regressive methods of Sudarshan Kriya and all. So I just wanted to compare the 2 along with the control group also. Whether those people who are not practicing these sorts of techniques, is there any difference in the 2? And also whether these 2 different nature techniques differ in promoting the well-being, subjective well-being, spirituality and psychological well-being. So I'll begin with the paper. The topic of the paper is the effect of meditative techniques on well-being and spirituality, a comparative study. So I'll just take some time in defining the actual operational definitions of these variables. That is, meditation can be defined as a family of self-regulation practices that focus on training attention and awareness in order to bring mental processes under greater voluntary control and thereby foster general mental well-being and development and or specific capacities such as calm, clarity and concentration. Now about Vipassana, a very simple definition, that is, Vipassana is an ancient Buddhist meditation practice which means to see things as they really are. It is based upon the notion that the cause of suffering can actually be erased when we see our true nature. It is a process of mental purification through self-observation. Whereas art of living is relatively a modern technique that is an integrative program including many activities along with its core technique of Sudarshan Kriya. The program aims to promote physical, social, mental and emotional well-being. Now there are many systems of meditation, as I said before, there are many systems of meditation that exist in the world today, each following different procedures. And though people are now acknowledging various meditative techniques for physical and mental health benefits, but few are aware of its deeper significance. These meditative techniques has got deeper significance. They can lead us towards the spiritual growth. Although India is often called the land of sages, of divine and mysticism, but our modern society has eclipsed this heritage by materialism and its superficial pleasure. Therefore, in this study, an attempt has been made to present empirical findings to support the positive effects of meditation on spirituality and overall well-being and bring to light the less probed but significant benefits meditation can bring for a more fulfilling life. So the specific objective of this study is to find the difference between Vipassana meditation practitioners, art of living practitioners, these 2 groups form the experimental group, and non-meditators, that is the control group, on subjective well-being, psychological well-being and spirituality. The variables were the 3 groups, that is Vipassana meditation practitioners, art of living practitioners, non-meditators, and they were measured on subjective well-being, psychological well-being and spirituality, and the design I followed was more than 2 independent groups. Then the sample size included, the participants were 55 persons in the age range of 20 to 58 years. And the sample comprised of 3 subgroups, that is experimental group comprised of Vipassana again, N was 20, and they followed the 10 days residential program. And the Art of Living group, they had 5 days basic course program, and the non-meditators derived from the general population who did not practice any form of meditation and who had no experience of any meditation program. The tools used were the Effect Balance Scale by Bradburn, Satisfaction with Life Scale, Psychological Wellbeing Scale, and Spiritual Intelligence Self-Report Inventory. Now the procedure followed was that the tests were administered on the practitioners of Vipassana meditation, Art of Living, from Jaipur city only, and before the commencement of the course and again at the end of the course. That is a pre and post sort of a thing. And the tests were administered on the control group, that is the non-meditators, on day 1 and again after a gap of 10 days. After the collection of the data, appropriate analysis was done and the results were drawn. Now the results. Firstly, a pre-test ANOVA was carried out for Vipassana, Art of Living and control group. That is before they started the joining the meditation program, and this was done to ensure that all the 3 groups are homogeneous. They are with regard to the variables we are measuring. That is, they do not differ on these variables. Then only we will be able to find out whether training is providing any significant difference in their well-being or not. Then post-test ANOVA was done, and as we can see from the table that post-test, first I wanted to say that pre-test ANOVA showed that the 3 groups did not differ because the significance level is 0.05. So they did not differ except on negative effect. That is, negative effect might be present in one of the groups. I didn't go for further analysis on this. That I'll be taking on further. Then the post-test ANOVA, again we can see the table that positive effect, the 3 groups differed. Life satisfaction, the 3 groups differed. But for negative effect, again the groups did not differ. That is, the negative effect has also been taken care of by these practices. Then further, to find out the specific difference in the group, post-hoc test was used, Tuckey's post-hoc. And again from the result we can see that Vipassana and the control group, significantly Vipassana group was higher than the control group on positive effect, and Vipassana group again was higher on life satisfaction than the control group. Then when we see Art of Living and control group, the third cell, we find again Art of Living, the sign is negative, that is the Art of Living. The second group is higher than the first one on positive effect, and again for life satisfaction also, the second group is higher than the first one. And then when we compare Vipassana with Art of Living, only for positive effect, it has been found that sign is negative, that is the Art of Living is promoting greater positive effect than Vipassana. For life satisfaction, there existed no difference between the 2 groups. Then ANOVA on psychological well-being. Now psychological well-being, 3 dimensions, that is autonomy, personal growth and overall psychological well-being. They seem to be affected. The F, that is, the 3 groups differed on these dimensions. Then the post-hoc reveals again that Vipassana for autonomy, Vipassana for personal growth and overall psychological Vipassana. So Vipassana emerged to be the most important training practice that is affecting the autonomy, personal growth and overall psychological well-being of an individual. Then we come down to our third cell, the Art of Living and control. It is not significantly affecting autonomy. Then personal growth, again Art of Living is promoting personal growth more in comparison to the control group. And then overall Art of Living is not affecting. So only for personal growth Art of Living is affecting, and for autonomy and overall and personal growth as well, Vipassana is more influential. The schools of Vipassana meditators are more in comparison to the control group. Then again ANOVA for Vipassana art of living control on spirituality. Now we can see all the three groups differed on. F is significant, that is, three groups differed on spirituality, all the dimensions. Then again the Turkish post hoc showing the specific differences in the group. Again, when we go for Vipassana alone, we see that for Vipassana, all Vipassana is higher, Vipassana group is higher on all the dimensions of spirituality, even overall spirituality. Then the third cell again, when we see the difference between control and awareness, even art of living is also, art of living practice is also enhancing the existential, personal, transcendental, conscious state and overall spirituality of the person. So major findings, as I have reported, that this we have gone through. I'll just skip it. So conclusion. Thus it can be concluded that Vipassana meditation technique plays a very significant role in enhancing all the three states of an individual, that is subjective well-being, psychological well-being and spirituality. Further, art of living meditation technique also plays a significant role in enhancing two states, that is subjective well-being and spirituality. And thus, irrespective of the meditation techniques one is following, meditation may enhance the sense of subjective well-being, psychological well-being and spirituality. The present study has emphasized that the best psychological outcomes arise from the synergy of high positive effect, engagement and meaning in life, and as meditation techniques may enhance well-being and spirituality, these practices should be followed, should be adopted by people for a wholesome life. And regular meditation can enable the serious seekers to fulfill their spiritual quest, and for others, it can pour joy, hope and meaning to the empty cups of life. Therefore, it is a need of the hour to create awareness among the masses to please follow these practices. Thank you.